Should I sell first or should I buy first? It's the age-old question, chicken or the egg, what makes more sense?
Tell me.
If you're thinking of moving from a condo to a house right now in Toronto, you should absolutely stop what you're doing. There are so many buyers out there and sellers that are making some extremely crucial mistakes when it comes to transitioning from your first to your second house. And these people are losing thousands of dollars by making these mistakes. The market is shifting, selling right now is tough. Buying can be even more difficult depending on what you're looking to purchase. So what you need is a game plan. You could end up financially trapped if you don't have a game plan ready to go when it comes to transitioning from house one to house two. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to break all of this down for you, exactly the steps that I would personally take if I was going to upsize from my current property. So I'm going to give you that step by step, and by the end of the video, you're going to walk away here knowing the best strategy for actually selling and buying in today's market. I'm also going to let you guys know the #1 mistake that might leave you stuck in limbo if you are doing this transition, and of course, whether you should sell first or buy first. And if you're currently stuck in a condo that you're looking to sell fast, stay tuned throughout the next week, and my videos that are coming up here will educate you on exactly how to sell your condo the fastest in today's market. So the hard truth in 2025 about upsizing is it's not what it used to be. Unfortunately, selling is hard. Condo prices are stagnant at best right now. Now, the #1 question I get from all my buyers right now is it a good time to move? When should I actually make that move? Well, the truth is, if you're upsizing, the best time to actually do your move is when prices are either flat or when they're on the dropping side of things. Now, you might hear that and say to yourself, why would I want to move when prices are dropping or flat? Don't I want to move when the prices are up? Let me break it down for you here. So let's say your condo increases by $50,000. Maybe it's a $500,000 condo, increases by 50 grand. We'll call that a 10% increase. Let's say you wanted to buy $1 million house and that increases 10%. How much is the value of the house going to go up? Well, it's some simple math here, $100,000. So you might gain $50,000 on your sale, but you're going to lose $100,000 on the purchasing side of things, which is why you actually should be looking for a market like we're in today to make that transition. It just makes a lot more sense. Now, as you can see, you've actually lost money. If the prices do go up, you might be gaining money on your current property, but you might be losing money on the buying side of things, which is extremely important to consider. So if your goal is to get more space, you shouldn't be focusing necessarily on the actual sale price that you're gonna get for your home. To a certain extent, of course, we all want to get great value, but what you need to pay attention to is that gap between what you buy and what you're going to sell. And that gap is actually going to get larger, as we've already discussed, if the home prices do go up, just based on a basic percentage of what your home value is. So winning would be buying in a market that allows you to actually transition and win that gap war here. Now, before we get into the next bit of information here, if you have any questions about anything, you can always just shoot me a message here on screen. One of these bottom corners, I'd be happy to discuss your personal situation. And this question I've got coming up here is the biggest question we ultimately get. Should I sell first or should I buy first? It's the age-old question, chicken or the egg, what makes more sense? Well, I'm going to give you my opinion. Of course, it is just my opinion. Everybody can handle this in the way that they think is going to serve them best. Now, here are a couple of things that might help you make that decision just a little bit easier. If you had to carry 2 properties, would you be able to afford both mortgages at the same time? Because the worst case scenario is you buy a property. You buy that dream detached home or semi-detached home, and your condo does not sell as fast as you hoped it would. This situation is absolutely possible, but if this happens, can you afford both the detached and that condo property? You might be saying to yourself, absolutely not. So in this case, you should sell first. You don't want to find yourself in this position. 2 mortgages that you can't actually afford. This is a recipe for disaster. Even if you are able to close on that second property, you're going to find yourself strapped for cash and in a situation that you are extremely uncomfortable in. Now, the second question I have for you, if you're trying to make the decision, sell or buy, is Do you have financial flexibility? Do you already have enough to pay for that second property? If you do, just go ahead and buy the property you want, because sometimes finding that property is the most difficult thing. And if you're not too worried about when your home sells or how quickly it sells, that might be the trigger for you to actually sell your property after you've purchased that next property. Now, I need to really know to figure this out ultimately. If neither of those two first questions can give you that ultimate I should sell or I should buy, you need to figure out what is scarier to you. Is it scarier to you to actually be temporarily homeless because you've sold your home and you can't find the potential dream home that you're looking for or that next property? That would be if you sell first. Or is it more scary for you and your family if you purchase a property before you sell, and now you have two properties because you cannot sell your first property and you are financially unable to afford these properties? I don't know which one is worse or more scary to you. Me personally, I think I'd prefer to not be in that financial stress, because being homeless, at the end of the day, a lot of us are going to hopefully have somewhere else or some alternative living that we can maybe utilize for a short period of time. I would much rather that than being financially strapped and in a position where I have two homes and I have a difficult time selling one. So you need to answer that for yourself, but I'll tell you, for 85 to 90% of my clients, they are going to choose to sell first, because it's the smarter move not to put yourself in a position where you have two properties and you can't afford to make those payments at the end of the day. Now, a lot of us, we just want to avoid stress. Making a move is not something that we're super excited about. Buying a home is exciting. You get to go out shopping, look at different houses. And when it comes to selling your home, let's be honest, there are a lot of stresses that come along with it. So here are some tips, basic tips for you that can get you on the right foot. So I need you to go and get a real home evaluation. How can you do that? Well, you can reach out to somebody like myself. Of course, my information is in the description box and in the pinned comment down below, and we can give you a property value for your home in today's specific market, whether it's a condo or any other type of property on the residential side of things. We'd be happy to give you a property value so you know what you're working with. Until you know what your home is potentially worth, it's going to be difficult for you to go shopping. And the second tip for you guys is you need to talk to a mortgage specialist. You need to talk to a broker. You need to talk to the bank. Figure out what you can actually afford on that purchase side of things, because we do not want to go window shopping. It's no fun to hear that you actually can't afford the $1.2 million home that you're looking at. You can actually only afford a $1 million home. You need to take all this into consideration, right? You don't go to the store and look at the $3,000 purse or $3,000 pair of shoes or that Ferrari if we don't have the income to support what we're looking at. Now, you need to start tracking the market as well. So what I would suggest is hop onto your local real estate websites, save some of the homes that you are interested in, watch them move, see what they sell for. Same with your home. Follow the sales that are in your area. Educate yourself on what's going on in your specific building or the pocket that you actually live, and this will allow you to get a pretty good understanding of what your home is worth and what you're actually going to have to pay on the other side of things. Now, the next thing is you need to actually have a backup plan. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but if you sell first and you do not find that next property that you are just dreaming about, what are you going to do? That's something you really need to consider, what that looks like for you in the grand scheme of things. Maybe you have in-laws, maybe you have family that will take you in for a period of time, but maybe you're like me. Maybe you got a family, you got 2 kids, you got lots of noise and lots of toys. Let's be honest, you might not be able to be staying with family for all that long. You're going to be bringing in a lot of disruption into other people's lives, and you might ultimately feel pretty bad about it if you're bringing all that into somebody's life. Now, the next thing I want you to consider is a strategy. Talk to your family, talk to the realtor, figure out what tactics you're actually going to use to make this transition happen. Not just hope that everything works out well. Go into it with a plan. Do not rush buying something. Do not rush selling your home. Make sure you're prepped. Make sure your home is prepared. Make sure it's staged. Make sure your media is done. Don't rush getting your home on the market. Number one, you want that best value. Number two, you want to make sure you're prepared for what that whole situation looks like. So if you're going to list your home right now and there's literally nothing out there you like, you need to know, is there a potential that maybe, just maybe, I'm not going to find something I like in the short period of time where I have to close on my current property. So you need to prepare yourself with a strategy. We can always help you with a strategy, but it's something that's extremely, extremely important. Now, the next thing we have not touched on yet is the mortgage trap. You need to know your mortgage terms. Are you on a fixed rate? Are you on a variable rate? If you have 2 years left potentially on a mortgage rate, you might be able to bring that over to your new property. Wouldn't that be amazing? You could just move, or what we call port your mortgage over to the next property. But maybe you need a bigger mortgage. In this case, what we would do is a port and blend, or a blend and port. So we are getting more money on top of that mortgage and blending the current rate with your previous rate. These are great options, but it does mean that your rate is going to potentially go up, especially in today's rate climate. The last thing you need to consider is if you're just getting rid of your mortgage altogether and getting a new one, there's going to be a penalty. There are mortgage penalties. So you need to know what those penalties look like. Sometimes they're tens of thousands of dollars, and sometimes it's just a few months interest. It does depend on what mortgage you currently have. So I need you to keep that in mind. There are so many different nuances, and I hope you're able to at least get bits and pieces here that are going to give you the right guide to actually making this transition just a little bit easier. It's a headache to make a move. Nobody says it's fun, nobody says it's easy, but at least having some information here from me, I hope is going to allow you to upsize without having that additional stress. Have a plan in place, and if you're thinking yourself about making a move, you can always feel free to reach out to me at the number here on screen. Book a call with me in the link in the description box down below as well if you'd like, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you're interested in learning more about the Toronto real estate market, you can check out one of these two videos here, because we have just dropped the Toronto real estate market update for the month of January 2025. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.